Pope John Paul II is writing a letter to women in response to the upcoming United Nations Fourth World Conference on Women. He wants to speak directly to every woman of what it means to be a woman in our time. He wants to focus on the essential issue of the dignity and rights of women. His 5 most important teachings outline what exactly he wants the conference to establish, and it basically tells what is truly important in order to establish equality and to focus on the dignity of women and what they bring to society. He begins by thanking all types of women, and he thanks them for each of their roles and recognizes that each of them is necessary and important to society. He says that they enrich the world's understanding and help to make human relations more honest and authentic. He wants to speak to each woman, and he wants to thank them for the simple fact of being a woman. He explains how the world is indebted to women for their role in history because they have played incredibly important parts but have not been given the recognition that they deserve. He focuses on the struggles and the obstacles that they underwent, and he is also honest about the fact that the church contributed to those struggles and obstacles, but he apologizes for the church's role. He says that we have to treat women the way that Jesus did, and that we must honor the dignity which women have always possessed, as Jesus did. He says that women's role in history is unlike what the men's role in history is, and that it brings something that men cannot. He focuses on good examples of women throughout history, including St. Teresa of Avila and St. Catherine of Siena. He talks about how rights for all people cannot be established until dignity is established, and he recognizes that women have been valued for what they bring physically to the world instead of what they bring intellectually and emotionally to the world. He says that equality for women is not only a matter of justice, but it is also of necessity. He explains that Mary is the epitome of women and of femininity, and he says that in order to have women possess their full dignity, they must respect and acknowledge their dignity, and that it comes from the fact that they are women and it comes from their femininity. Pope John Paul talks about how women have been exploited throughout history and still today. He talks about how they are sexualized and used for their bodies, even young girls throughout the world. He talks about how abortion not only is bad for children, but is also bad for women because they are the ones left with the guilt afterwards. He says that it should not be just put on the shoulders of women, but also on men, and it is because of society and because of their expectations. Pope John Paul explains that we will never have peace unless there is an unfailing determination to respect, protect, love, and serve life, every human life, at every stage and in every situation. Pope John Paul wants to make it clear that motherhood and that a woman's role in the family should not hold her back from contributing to society. He says that society and that the world should support women in their role as mothers and in their role throughout their work and throughout society. He talks about how in Genesis God said to fill the earth and subdue it, and that women are often looked down upon for embracing motherhood because many people see it as holding women back. He says that women should embrace motherhood and that they were given the gift to be the original protectors of life, and that is something very important and very beautiful, and it has been lost in this day and age. There are many controversies that Pope John Paul brings to light, but he's not afraid to say it regardless, and I think that's one of the reasons that he wrote to Gertrude Mongella, because he wanted to make it clear what he and the church stood for. He takes up issues such as rape, abortion, and contraception, and he makes it clear that contraception is not a form of liberating women, but accepting women's fertility is the epitome of freedom and equality for women. He also says that women are not, in their pursuit of equality, should not be in pursuit of sameness with men. And I think that many people could find that offensive, especially feminists who basically want women to be the same as men, but that is completely losing what truly is feminism. There are many teachings that contradict the world's teachings. He says that abortion is wrong, regardless of whether the child was from sexual promiscuity or from rape, and he applauds women who respect life regardless of how it came about, including rape. He condemns a widespread hedonistic and commercial culture which encourages the systematic exploitation of sexuality and corrupts even very young girls into letting their bodies be used for profit. He also talks about how society encourages aggressive male behavior that often leads to rape. The fact that he talks about women respecting their fertility is definitely contradictory to what the world teaches, as they tell women to be on contraception in order to control their lives. All of John Paul II's teachings are relevant to women and to the world today, and because they are truth, they are therefore timeless. Thank you very much.